GoPro is GoProing, and we are recording here.
You know, they got carols for Christmas and whatnot.
Yes.
But I really feel like there's only a couple songs I only hear around Halloween every year. There's only a few that I hear that is distinctly Halloween songs.
What are Halloween? I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Number one, Thriller.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing you're gonna hear. And then yeah. And then I of course hear My Mind Is Playing Tricks on Me by the Ghetto Boys.
Yes. Yeah, that video is classic.
That's amazing.
Yeah. To have a little person just bloodied up his knuckles on the side.
I mean, I guess that it is politically correct the way you said it.
I said little person.
But it sounds so terrible. I mean, see a little person just swinging his fists.
Vertically challenged? It's like, I don't know what to use.
How about just that wonderfully talented artist?
But I'm being specific about someone whose name I don't know. Too Short?
That's someone else.
That's another rapper.
That is another rapper who kept claiming it was his last album, but kept on making albums.
Hey.
Which I don't mind at all.
I mean, you may quit the game, but the game don't quit you.
I want to hear another one of these fortune cookie advices from the rap game.
Yeah, I'm tapped.
That's okay.
That's it.
Gotta
pace myself on a Monday.
It is Monday. Welcome to the More Than Meatheads podcast. This is Shane.
And Lewis.
And you can find us at more_than_meatheads on Instagram, morethanmeatheads.com, More Than Meatheads on Facebook. We'll be your friend. I'm trying to say it where it doesn't sound creepy.
You got a friend.
Oh, there you go. That works.
There you go.
And then on YouTube, we keep recording this stuff, but I don't know if we'll ever put it up on More Than Meatheads on YouTube.
It's going to be one of the first upgrades we get.
We did. I actually saw you 2 days ago. The reason why is we got to do some after business hours work week.
A little extracurricular project on the side. Hopefully that becomes mainstream and not the side.
Yes. So on Saturday, I was in here in our wonderful studio space here, and we recorded a possible sponsor ad.
Yes, a submission to the sponsor universe of sorts.
Yeah, so this company, we can say the company, right?
Yeah. I said we could just go full disclosure about everything that happened.
Yeah, full disclosure, everything that happened. So we entered a contest to get sponsored by Honey.
Which I legitimately, 100%, no clue what it was.
Yes, and I wanted to give a shout out. I don't know his Instagram handle, but I know his actual name. So we're going to dox him real quick. Kenny out there in California, thank you for sending it to us, avid listener. We really appreciate it.
And Kenny's association is...
My brother's...
Shot! I said
so he led us into this, and we put in a submission to put an ad that hopefully will get us a sponsorship. And even if it doesn't, we'll air it anyway because it was fun.
It was fun. It was a solid 3 minutes that it was like an accumulation of all the skills that we've acquired through all the episodes of just tonality, phrasing, energy, editing, and just about everything else.
So it was a fun little time. So I now know that if I ever want to be a voiceover actor, I probably should go somewhere else. It's not
not your calling.
Not exactly a natural. But it was fun. Hopefully you will hear that when we do win this worldwide contest. They'll give us a sponsorship plus an upgrade in the facility.
First upgrade is gonna buy a video editing program.
I thought it was gonna take us from like a 1-bedroom apartment to a 2-bedroom apartment. Maybe, I don't know. But that was fun, and then that was Saturday.
A bigger honeycomb hive.
Shit.
Damn it, I messed that up.
That's all right.
You know what I was going for there.
That wasn't part of our submission, so we're fine. So when I left after we did like 3 hours of work for 2.5 to 3 minutes.
Oh man, we're all confident about we're just gonna bang this out. It's gonna be like 15 minutes. I'm not even gonna set up the studio fully. It's like, well, let me set it up just for pictures because we're gonna do, video as well for it.
Like everything else, where
4 hours later,
you think it's gonna be easier than it is because you've never done it before, and it's a false sense of confidence that sometimes can be a good thing. not on Saturday.
Yeah, this came crashing in on us. I'm just like, it's dark out now.
Yeah, so I got to go walk home in the dark, and then you actually got to go do some Halloween fun stuff after that.
Yeah. Well, that was the following day, but yeah. Went up to upstate New York, and went to I think it's the 5 H's, the Haunted Hayride Headless Horseman. Oh, I missed one. There's another H in there.
Haunted Hayride Headless Horseman.
Haunted House.
House?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's too many H's though. Anyway.
There you go. There's our first retraction segment right there. Pull back and pull out right there. Someone's gonna look that up.
I did it to myself. Oh no. Flashbacks.
All right.
So it was a lot of fun for a city boy to get out and upstate and run through a corn maze and some haunted houses. It was a lot of fun, and I gotta say, shout out to them there. They had a very, very good system set up to keep everyone socially distant.
Yeah, how was the setup? So you were telling me that you were in a car?
So the first part is in a car, and because they can't have a hayride where everyone sits next to each other.
And if people want to look this up, what is the actual... Ulster?
Ulster, yeah, Ulster, New York, and it's haunted horseman, haunted headless horseman.
Haunted headless horseman in Ulster, New York.
Yeah. And it was great because like it starts you off. It tells you to tune your radio to this station, and that's the soundtrack to like what you're seeing around you.
It's like a drive-in.
Yeah, or it's more like a really, really long drive through because you're just moving the entire time. And of course, it can't be too scary because like there's cars in front of you, so if you get freaked and hit the gas, they don't want to terrify you that much. But there was some some really cool scenery, really cool lighting, and then
I hope the audio is better than a drive-through though.
It was crackly. It was
okay.
Kind of like that. What's it called? When like aliens attack type of situation. What am I thinking about when they had that broadcast?
Oh, War of the Worlds?
Yes. Very George. Is that George? Was it George Orwell?
I don't know.
Orson Welles. It was Orson Welles that did the narration to that. And
but you can't speak back, right? It's not like an actual drive-through where you're trying to yell like,
no.
I want a frosty dairy dessert, like as loud as you can. Like you can't actually.
It's
speak
like,
yeah.
But and it was great because like there's like actors that are like they really like go for it with their makeup and the accessories, and they're walking around your car, so it was pretty cool. It was a really cool experience. And then they just file you on over to the parking lot, help you find the parking. It's like, here it is, boom, get out. Here are your tickets.
They go from trying to kill you to make sure they usher you into like parallel parking correctly.
Yes. It was great. And then you just
arguably safer than trying to park in the street in New York.
It very much was. It was very, very much more contained and just simple. And then from there, they walk you on over to a murder motel that you have to work your way through to make it to the corn maze. And it was like just a perfect setting of it was a cool night, little drizzle, dark as fuck, so you can't really see that far as well. And they're just like, you don't know what's gonna move on you, and you don't know what's gonna happen next.
Now, when someone jumped out and tried to scare you, did you punch them in the face?
Almost. It was. I'm not gonna lie, Shane. There was a few times that I was just like, oh, because I'm here, I gotta shut off the reflex. But anywhere else, it would have been just like.
That's gotta happen a lot, though.
Yeah. Well, I think there has to be some sort of disclaimer that you don't read that says you can't physically assault our employees.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's bound to happen.
I never understood the point of being scared. I never like scary movies. Not like not my thing.
I see it as like being at an amusement park. You go on the roller coaster for the ride. So you go for the ride.
Oh, I thought you meant funnel cake. I was all in until you said that.
Well,
that's
no. That's what you eat while you're there.
Yeah, I just sit down and watch people have fun roller coasters.
If I hadn't consumed an entire Cuban sandwich with some tostones, I would have had their donuts, their fried donuts that they had there.
Okay, now I'm on board.
Yeah.
Okay, next year I'm there.
Yeah, we'll have a group trip, but it was a lot of fun. And then I thought it was only 2 haunted houses, and in the third one, I will own up to it, scared the shit out of me when a giant human wearing a baby head just came at me with a fake a taser.
I've also been described as such when I shave.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. Now.
Like, where are they now with the Gerber baby?
Yeah. A little scared and turned on at the same time. So I gotta own up to like that was the biggest scare that I had at the end of the night, and I'm like, perfect. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. This is a good ride.
You're like, yeah, I climaxed.
Basically, it's like, woo, wet now.
After someone jumps out to scare you, you're like, hey.
You got me.
But yeah, I never understood the point of being scared. It's just not my thing. People love that stuff.
Like I said, I accepted it for the ride. It was a good time. It's very thematic for the season, so it's just it's cool. It's cool.
Watching scary movies just in general, like I don't like scary movies for the simple fact that it's not that, if I was in a horror movie, I would be able to survive this so much better. But just the incompetence on people like trying to run away from the killer.
There's that Geico commercial about that where you have the four, young people running through the farm. And they're like, why don't we just get in the running car? And they're like, no, that's a dumb idea. Let's hide behind these chainsaws. It's like, you want to think that you have the sense to make better decisions under duress, but...
Yeah, but I mean, just in the sheer skill set, I'm looking at it and I'm like, these people don't work out. I don't know. And the problem is I'm watching this movie and I'm just like, all right, well, if you've done some squats and you've done some...
A couple of box jumps. A couple of like plyometric exercises can literally save your life.
Well, that's why they got that phrase where it's like harder to kill. And that's what you're training for. But that's what I was looking at, because I'm a big fiend for just going on Amazon Prime and just watching trailers. Like, that's just what I do with my night. I have a lot of friends.
Wednesday and Fridays, I fall down the YouTube hole and just look up movie trailers.
So I'm watching all these trailers for the Halloween themed one, and literally no one can get away from this killer in all of the movies. And if they just did some type of physical training, they could definitely better their chances.
Well,
so it got me thinking. I was like, well, how do we train to survive a scary movie? And it comes back to how we train normally, where it's, lift heavy, run fast.
Yeah.
If you just train to do that,
it's very primal. It's very like caveman. Just like you're either running from you're either predator or prey. Either way, you got to train the same.
Yeah, so. And when it comes to the actual like scary movie aspect of it, it's. The reason why is because the specificity of it, where if you're not training at a high enough intensity, not all the time, but if you're not training at a high enough intensity, when, like you said, the chips are down and it does become a high pressure situation, you're going to sink to that level of your training. If your level of training is,
only getting off the sofa,
or at best watching a movie while you do the elliptical, it's probably not gonna help you if someone's chasing after you.
Yeah, that reminds me of that meme of like people watching American Ninja Warrior halfway through a bag of Cheetos, and after somebody falls, like, I could have done that. It's like, oh yeah, you think?
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
The only scary movie that got me thinking, it's like, man, I gotta up my training, was 28 Days Later, because they had the zombies just running full speed.
Yeah,
like,
that was
the science makes no sense. The chemistry makes no sense. Like, how do they not get tired? What's fueling them? Like, besides just pure ambition to eat brains. But regardless, they were still running at you full speed.
Yeah, I remember that being like an excellent movie. But yeah, if you go in, I don't know how many layers deep you can go in a scary movie and have it realistic.
Well, that's when it's just like, that's as far as logic takes me. And then I'm just like, all right, let me just enjoy the movie. And think about, damn, I gotta run faster.
Yeah, because when you don't train for something, your body it adapts, right? So you have the reversibility aspect of it, where if you don't use it, you lose it. And when you're talking about training goals, it probably would behoove you to at least work at a high enough intensity that if something does happen, like that, I don't know what the hell that
Something's
was.
happening outside my door right now.
If something does happen, then
grab the cat.
that you have the ability to effortlessly and seamlessly move through space as quickly as possible. I have an article here that is a top CrossFitter and bodybuilder gets wrecked by taking the VO2 max fitness test, and they're talking about how a guy who is supposedly in
amongst
shape,
the fittest, yeah.
But he's very much so in shape for that one thing.
Someone's having a horror situation outside my door right now.
This is definitely a Halloween episode. So he's definitely in shape for that one activity, two activities that he's trained for. But when they're testing his aerobic fitness, so VO2 max would be the volume of oxygen consumed, that you'd be able to do it at one time. So how much can you consume and utilize? And so he completely crashed on that. Was not able to do well at all. I know I took the VO2 max test. I have a couple times, and leading up to this, the VO2 max test, I knew that it was coming, so I would train in a certain way so that way I could, maybe pad my results a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Show off a little bit in exercise phys lab.
How do they test you for it? Because I've always seen the videos for like the Gatorade commercials.
Literally a Gatorade commercial.
Okay.
It's literally a Gatorade.
And do you know why, in particular, at least to my exposure, I've only seen like the giant face mask and everything while running on the treadmill. Yes. Is the treadmill the like the metric by the medium by which they test it? The most popular one that they go by? Yeah,
there's multiple ways to do it, but there's multiple ways to do it as far as implements and protocols. For being in a classroom setting or a lab setting, you would just go with the most applicable one there. And if I were to describe it, it's raising the incline, right? So you're raising intensity. So you're raising the incline. Think like Rocky,
where Drago is doing
only it's not a 2-minute montage. You're just going for as long as you can. And so you're raising the intensity.
I wouldn't do 2 minutes.
they're constantly asking you if you're okay, and you have a rate of perceived exertion that you're looking at, and then you can point to because you can't speak. So they want to get. I've done it with the nose plugs, and I've done it with the full face mask. Full face mask is so much better. The nose plugs one was just very.
But isn't it forcing you to breathe out your mouth the entire time?
Yeah, but the nose plugs one, it was hard because I get so sweaty because I'm working at a high rate that it started coming off. So like at one point I was like, it was the percent error on that one I did was terrible. Because I was like holding my nose. It was just very strange. But the one I actually did over here in Brooklyn College was a lot better. And if you train your body to work with these energy systems that are going to be used in something like this, then you will be more equipped to do so. Your body doesn't naturally want to work at that high of a rate for that long. So you do have to do some type of training for it. Interestingly enough, I didn't do any running for it. It was a running test. I didn't do any running for it necessarily. I did some, but it was working at a relative intensity that was challenging my aerobic base with weight training and with the other things I was doing in the gym.
So for you, for the just general public, they would use running. But if you were a cyclist, I'm assuming they would use a bicycle.
Yeah, so this is where we get this is where we get
specificity.
So this is where we get sports specificity is practice. That's for your actual sport. If you whatever you're doing, that's for your sport. When it comes to specificity of training, or we're like covering all principles of training too. So you're looking at the SAID, so specific adaptation to impose demands.
Yes.
So your body's only going to adapt to what you impose upon it. In my head, most people, this is not, I feel very judgy when I say this, but most people are more salad to me.
In what sense? Please elaborate.
Specific adaptations to lack of imposed demands. That's where I see it. Yeah, you like it?
I like that. I always did
that.
I like it.
So I thought all about that really long time. I've waited my whole life for that. So when you go into a situation where it does require you to work at a higher rate of intensity, if you haven't trained for it, you're not ready. And how you can do that in the gym setting is things that we talked about in the past where, lower your rest periods, you work at a higher intensity as far as relative to your max. So if your rest period that you normally take is about 60 to 90 seconds, and then instead of that, you take 30 seconds?
30 seconds,
Or
yeah.
just don't stop and just
Yeah.
do as many rounds as possible within a time cap, like we've talked about before. That'll prep you more for being able to continuously work at a higher rate of an aerobic activity.
Yeah, it always makes me, when I watch a movie and I see it's like, oh, it's a chase scene and it's on foot. It's like, yeah, that would never. Most people are not ready for that, and we're in the gym and we're training, so we have the ideally the right shoes, the right equipment, the right gear.
I mean, how many times do you stop an axe murderer in his tracks and be like, hold on, I have to foam roll?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's gonna work out all that well for you.
Excuse me, Mr. Machete Man. I have type hip flexors.
Yeah.
Just give me just in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Let me do my dynamic
warm up.
crap.
Yeah.
And then come back.
Yeah. It's like, wait. Am I gonna be jumping? Wait, I gotta pull up my shorts a little bit here.
Yes, you.
Okay. Now.
Yeah. But you actually had you've had a great point before in the past where you have people working out. Many points in the past where you have people working out, and sometimes you have them do it in their street clothes.
Yes. I'm very literal, so I want to train people to, in case something were to happen, how do you deal?
Yeah.
Only because there's a lot of free time in my head, and I thought about it. Like, I've literally put myself through a run, just about 5 or 10 blocks in jeans, just to see, like, you know what? How would I do? How would I do if I had to just
that would
run?
be more functional than what you see on Instagram. Like, that's way more functional because it has an actual function. That where something happens, are you going to be in your Lululemons? Probably not.
Probably not, unless it's
I mean, me, yes.
Yeah, exactly, because it is still pumpkin spice latte season, so you're gonna be in your.
You're the one with the pumpkins right behind you.
How dare you call out my decorations?
You did carve jack-o'-lantern.
I did. Tell how to work.
I know. I see the pumpkin seeds on the stove.
Hey, that's a future episode reference.
Okay.
Don't jump ahead.
All right.
They're in the prep stage. But, it's like, think about what you wear for the most part. And think about where you are for the most part. It's more likely than not, if something were to happen, not to sound negative, not to sound cynical, but that's more likely when something's going to happen. Where are you in your life at that moment?
Yeah, that's actually a very well-known technique in the martial arts community. As far as, like, say, jiu-jitsu, they'll have days where it's like street clothes days.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an everyday thing. Obviously, you are wearing clothes and have equipment for a more efficient purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
But every once in a while,
where you can push harder as well because you're in the right gear.
Yeah. So every once in a while, to not just switch it up, but to actually train the functionality of what you are doing.
Yeah.
And seeing what adjustments that need to be made. They have that, and even in like shooting courses, where instead of just being at a firing range and they're just firing off, relaxed and with your breath and Terran Tactical is Keanu Reeves out there.
Reeves, yeah.
Well, they have the courses where you'll actually be in a car and like have to jump out of the car and then do your activity. So that way your heart rate's higher and it's more of a high pressure situation.
And you're still expecting it because you went there that day knowing it's like, oh, today's casual Friday training day.
Yeah.
So, you're going to be out of your element slightly. So you still have somewhat of an advantage.
Yeah, but something as simple as, like you said, running with your jeans on, and it doesn't have to be for the extended same amount of time, but you'll start to see, oh, there's a few more obstacles than I thought there were. Just by having my street clothes on.
I'll never forget, and my sister may remember this story a little bit different, so I'll just say that as a caveat right now. We were with my parents coming home from the bus from Jersey, and something happened where they got us off the bus. I don't know the exact details because I was too young, but what I do remember is, and there's something to be said for in the moment adrenaline of just like making up the difference, the whole like mom picking up a car off of her kid type of thing, just not finding the strength when you had to.
I do that for food eating contests.
Yeah. You step up to the challenge.
When they make you eat the gristle at the end, bro,
you gotta go in.
It's a different gear.
Yeah. So anyway, back to my touching story.
Sorry.
It's okay, I'm just kidding. So something happened on the bus where everyone had to just start running. Like, don't know, there was a fire on the bus, but all I remember is that my dad picked up myself and my sister, and my sister and I are about 2 years apart. I was maybe about younger than 7, older than 5, so my sister's older, so just picking up like two kids underneath his arms and just hauled ass And I remember him just running as if we didn't weigh anything. And he was just in his, probably just like jeans and sneakers, and running through a field with us just to get us away from the bus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That puts a pretty good picture.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. It's like it kind of sticks with you. Just like he just did it because he had to at that moment. There was no training, there was no prep. We were just casually coming back on a bus, an air-conditioned bus. So it's like, it was a warm day out type of thing. So it's just like, and you just have to.
Yeah, and I immediately feel like an asshole for making a joke for it.
No, it's okay.
So that happens.
Because you didn't know what was coming. I didn't tell you that I was going to tell that story.
Prep me next time for that. Okay, touching story. Whoops. But also, too, you don't have to feel like you're in there in the gym and you're training for... we used to have this guy. So there's no problem with working in high intensity, right? That's actually good.
Yeah.
But you don't want to take yourself so seriously, where we had guys in there at the place that we used to work at that had, they had like the weight vest on and they're going hard every day. They're going on the stair climber for 50 minutes. And listen, I respect the hustle, like
respect the discipline.
Discipline and everything. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. And if you just...
That is a horrible phrase. As a cat owner,
yes.
I am offended by that phrase.
It's not my fault. I was looking at a cat. I had nothing else. That's just what happens. So when that happens, where you're constantly going in every day, there's going to be a certain amount of temptation to slack off, because how often can you watch a YouTube video and get pumped up before you go to the gym? I would think there's a level of, like, you don't mean to, but you get desensitized, where it's just like, how often can you reach that level of pseudo-intensity? Because there's what's driving it. What's your goal? What's your purpose? Firefighters train at a high intensity to train for their firefighter test, and they still go through drills. But that's their job. It's like, what are you training for? Navy SEALs, even after you make it through BUDS training, still go through training, because that's their job. That's what they perform. But again, that's what you're talking about in the beginning, sport specific.
Exactly.
That's practice.
Exactly.
So if you're practicing, imagine practicing for a sport that you never get to play.
Yeah.
It can get kind of mind numbing.
Yeah, constantly running ladder drills in the gym, and you don't play football or basketball. It's like, what are you really gonna use this for?
Instagram stories. Basically. Yeah. That's
all
they use it for.
Because, like, have you ever seen someone do ladder drills while running a play?
Yes, all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
They take them off the field for TV. Everybody knows that.
The ladder's in my mind.
Yeah. But so instead of having to push intensity, because there's at a certain point you're not going to be able to push it that far, that long, without having... I was about to say that hard too. But you're not going to be able to...
Speak for yourself.
So change of direction work. If you're going back to the scary movie again, if you ever see a scary movie, they're not... The problem is they are running in a straight line. Mm-hmm. Think fucking gazelle. You know what I mean? They're going back and forth.
Well, that's how you escape, like, a charging bear or alligator. You change the direction.
Well, I don't know. I don't care how fast you change direction. I don't think you're escaping.
Well, you gotta be far enough away.
Yeah, alligator. How am I changing direction in the water? Your analogy, I don't understand.
Oh, I'm thinking land-based.
Land-based?
No, yeah. If you're in the water, forget it. You just drop so many levels in the evolutionary chain.
In
the food chain.
That's why I don't get in the water.
Yeah, you're chum at that point. Pick an appendage you least like, and then that's your sacrifice. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. Each one of them has their own benefits. I get it.
Okay. It's threw me all off. Thinking about appendages. Change of direction work. Thank you. I'll just pick myself back up. Okay, so change of direction work is extremely important, and what it can do is not only does it provide a break for your system from pushing that same intensity button over and over and over again, as far as intensity's intensiveness or emotional intensity, so that way you give yourself a little bit of a break. It gives you an opportunity to work on the skill of changing direction and being able to decelerate, absorb force, and then produce force. So it's really easy to work that in on a daily basis. So was it last time we were talking about movement prep?
About two episodes ago.
Yeah, so we went into movement prep and
That'd be great for someone to call us out on. It's like,
yes.
no, actually.
we went into movement prep, and before you get into your actual work, so we're talking about structuring your warm up. I know it was last time or the time before. Talking about structuring your warm up. There's a lot that goes into just saying warm up, right? Mm-hmm. So you have the general warm up, which we talked about, the benefits and costs for that. And then we have the dynamic movement prep, where you're getting your joints essentially ready to take on the workout. And then you want to train your movement patterns, right? So if you're just changing direction, if you just throw in a change of direction drill right in the beginning of your work, not only does it jack your heart rate up even more and get you ready to work, but it also gets you your ligaments and connective tissue ready to do just that, change direction. So that way you're being able to set yourself up to lift fast, to move quickly. So what that would look like is something as simple as, let's see, what would be most people be familiar with? Just like lateral steps.
Yeah.
Stepping to the side laterally.
Yeah. Side shuffles.
Side shuffles. Just do that quickly.
Or karaoke. Or, is that what they call it? Grapevining.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Do that quickly. Change direction also can qualify as if you take a burpee, like a burpee that you would normally think of in CrossFit class or whatever it is, where people are just flailing around.
Yeah.
If you just not slow it down, but put it into stages where you just squat, push up, squat, jump, land. Just by positions. That's what I do as an athletic position squat or athletic position burpee. You can then put that into your warm up in the beginning, and then when you go to hit your, say you're doing weighted squats, deadlifts, or whatever it is you're doing, afterwards it's going to be much smoother because you're now used to getting into these different positions under fatigue and being able to control that.
Yeah, it's like you're giving your body like an appetizer before you hit the entree portion, which is going to be the bulk meat of your workout. I see your eyes lighting up, waiting for that food metaphor.
Yeah, sorry, it's like a blooming onion. It just hit me. I don't know what the fuck just happened.
But yes, it's like what you said about giving your body a burpee before you're doing like some sort of heavy
not to the point where you're getting super fatigued. Nothing like that. You know, we're not.
You might do like 5 to 10 burpees and just like, okay, cool, nice and loose.
Yeah, now you're good to go.
Yeah. And also proper form. It's not a speed contest either.
So we're looking for quality of movement, and we're looking for how to get not just position A and B, but how to get from A to B. Yeah. And that's what really the goal is of that warm up, and then being able to push harder when it comes to lifting fast. Now, you don't want to be that guy that ends up on a gym fail video. So
if you do, tag us.
Yeah, please. And don't not like we sent you, not like we're endorsing, but tag.
Or we inspired you to do
there you
this.
Go. But if you lift quickly, then that will transfer over to everything else that you do. So there's a principle out there called CAT, compensatory acceleration. So that means that as you say you stand up from a squat.
Wait, it's called what?
Compensatory acceleration training.
Okay. I was waiting for the. I was like, all I heard was cat.
Yeah, cat.
I was waiting for the.
Caca. Yeah. So say as you stand up from a squat, it gets.
It's a cat. She woke up.
As you stand up from a squat, it gets easier. The closer you get to standing up fully, right? So that you have a better mechanical advantage. So the idea behind that is just because it got easier doesn't mean that you let off the gas. You actually accelerate through the movement. And that's going to make it so that everything that you do, say you're running from an axe murderer, it's going to make it so that I'm trained to then now sprint.
Yes.
What you would normally think of as sprinting is like running in one direction as fast as you can. It gets your whole body ready to move as fast as possible, and that's what we want at all times. It's like a really, 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 really condensed version of a syllabus in exercise physics class.
You're welcome.
There you go.
Because you get it for free in our podcast.
So yeah, that's
also for our listeners. If you happen to be chased by some sort of murderer and you get away,
please film it.
And you get away because of listening to this podcast, you're welcome.
Yes, if you could just in the middle of it pull up your Instagram stories and then tag us while someone's chasing you.
In the next couple of days, also, just keeping with Halloween, we have a 2-day window for after Halloween as well, just for latecomers. So
yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Maybe you're running to the voting booth. Who knows? Just do that in there.
No,
Sorry.
No. Nope. And just like Instagram, they mention politics, I turn it off. So that is it for the topic of the day. We're going to do some Halloween-ish themed current not really current events, but Halloween things that are going on right there. So let's start off with the downer first because we are trainers. So let's just get this out of the way, which everyone expects us to do is top 20 reasons to skip Halloween candy.
No, I don't, because I'm the person that shops on November 1st for all the sales on candy. And
that's what my brother does. My brother, number one thing my brother does is he waits and he's just like, it's just a day, who cares? And then the next day it's like 50% off. And
absolutely. I go to Dwayne Reed and just like, and I don't get the king size versions of the candy bars. I go for the fun size ones because they make, I just keep them frozen in the freezer. Mm-hmm. And then also for when I do my races, those little just whole chocolates are perfect little snacks for me.
Yeah.
To just switch it up to have just a quick little sugar source.
Well, yeah, it's funny because some of the, it sucks so bad that genetics play such a part in fitness.
And everything.
Yeah, because
genetics, Pee Wee.
All right.
It's Tango and Cash.
I know. But well, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, you got what I'm saying is that the most athletic people that we know eat candy. In our work, Jafar was constantly eating gummy bears during his workouts.
His pre-workout was just like the Japanese gummy bears and wash it down with a coconut water.
Yeah.
And then he'd go spar for almost an hour straight.
Yeah,
and then run up to Harlem and back.
Yeah, he
casually.
Yeah,
just casual.
The top level weightlifters eat candy in between. If you're doing a long being like 2-3 hours, people eat candy in between times so that it's simple sugar source that they can get in there. That you're not them.
Yeah,
that's just
I'm
not them.
I knew for some of the coworkers that we had that were maybe 5 to 10 years older than me. Also, the amount of time that they spent in prison, not related.
What?
They would eat so unhealthy. They'd get just ham and cheese sandwiches and wash it down with an orange or grape soda, and they just look like action figures underneath their shirts.
Yeah, I mean,
but I know I'm not you.
Yeah,
and you enjoy it, and enjoy your lunch.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast about comparing when it comes to genetics. You gotta stop with the comparison thing. You just gotta compare what the mirror looked like the day before.
Yeah,
that's what you gotta compare it to. So there's a whole long list, or 20 of them, but we're not gonna run down through 20 of them. We're literally gonna go with the one most interesting fact I found on this list.
1 out of 20.
Well, come on. I mean, come on. Like, look at this list. All right. How much of a negative Nancy this is? All right. Sugar can decrease growth hormone. Sugar can cause cancer. Your ability to absorb protein can be affected by sugar. I don't want to go through this fucking list. This is depressing.
So talk about the sugar conspiracy against fat industry.
I don't know. This is gonna get me emotional to the point that I eat a bunch of candy. But the one I did find that was interesting was you'd have to perform over 3 hours of sexual activity to burn off 1 Snickers bar.
Get me a Snickers. Snickers bar is my stage name.
What? I don't even want to know why that's a thing.
3 hours, you say?
You're just like...
Start the clock.
Just the whole audience, like, you're not you if you're hungry. So 13 cheap and easy Halloween costumes for jacked guys. This is what I actually wanted to get to today. To be fair, I just clicked on this article and I have no idea what it says, so we're just going to run through it.
My obvious go-to as a costume for jacked guys is just be a washboard.
Aw.
And just carry around your dirty laundry.
I can see that. I got Rocky Balboa, number 1, in the sweatsuit.
The sweats. Oh, okay.
Gray sweatpants, gray sweatshirt.
You're running through Philly to the stairs. Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. That might not be the best idea. Gray sweats is always a weird thing for me.
It is.
And
it has to be the right fabric.
And it's October.
Yeah.
It's nighttime. I don't know. I don't know if you're doing it for you. Definitely. If you're going to a party, I don't know, man. I don't know. Something to think about.
Who's going to parties?
Who does a party? Commando. Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando.
I thought just go Commando.
Yeah, you can definitely go Commando. That's what you can do. But it says part of the costume is you need to have impressive biceps and a ripped upper body. and a passable Arnold impersonation. There's some terrible Arnold impersonations.
I think that
I don't know.
Yeah, some of the most terrible ones are actually the best in that same respect.
Yeah.
They're just so bad. It's just like, wow, that's horrible.
Yeah. How about Incredible Hulk, number 3?
Color yourself green. Just
Yeah.
wear a green shirt.
Ferrigno style.
Mm.
I would prefer the Bruce Banner version, to be honest.
Mild mannered with a flannel and the glasses.
You're just gonna be like, oh, you're a hipster. So,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're just an old hipster.
Yeah. Ooh, Old Spice guy.
Oh, look at him.
Who's
Now,
gonna
what do you
be?
mean?
Who's gonna be my horse? It's very strange. I don't know. I don't want that one. John Cena.
Which version?
The wrestling one.
Oh, okay. You can't see me.
You can't see me, Cena. You look like a bunch of guys I grew up with. I don't know. That's not.
Because there's different versions of John Cena. You could do this John Cena from Trainwreck with Amy Schumer. That was the sensitive, like, buff guy.
You know what you could do is you could put on a really terrible, like, impersonation of the Rock outfit, and then you could be John Cena. That's what he's trying to be. John Rambo.
Oh, with the black tank top and the headband. Yeah.
Definitely do that.
Yeah.
Fanny Pack, Rock, Dwayne Johnson. This one I like is near and dear to my heart. Richard Simmons.
Ooh.
You could definitely do that. I got some shorts that are that small. I could do that.
Yeah.
I could rock that.
Yeah. With the tank top again, with the loose fitting tank top. Yeah.
He-Man.
Masters of the Universe. That's great.
And then Lumberjack, Brawny Man. That looks
with
like
the flannel.
That looks like a serial killer.
That's and who will make you an artisanal coffee afterwards as well with that plaid shirt.
I could definitely do that. I actually was this. I found one that I was.
John McClane from Die Hard.
John McClane from Die Hard.
It's different stages. Are you like, after running through the glass?
Yes.
Dirty tank top, or you just got there.
There's the key. Here's the key. If you're gonna do a Halloween outfit and you want to be taken like seriously, you gotta be
committed.
But like the ragged ran through the end of the movie version. Don't be the beginning of the movie version. No, one, nobody likes that guy.
Yeah.
Two, you're never gonna live up to that guy. But if you just went through like a harrowing experience, then you could be that guy. That's the key.
It'd be great if you had somebody to show up with you and they were the annoying cokehead guy from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And just calling everyone Booby.
There's a couple on here that
Which, by the way, Die Hard is it's not a Halloween movie.
It's not. It's a Christmas movie.
Christmas movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for the easiest Halloween outfits for Jack guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Does anybody do parties though?
If they are, they're gonna be like speakeasy parties where it's like very on the low kind of thing. Virtual. And you're gonna see a lot of Zoom Halloween parties. People dressing up at home.
The only thing worse than a Halloween party is one that's virtual.
It's a Zoom Halloween party.
No, thank you.
I'm gonna dress up like my futon and just.
It's horrible.
Just gonna blend in. Yeah.
Yep, but that's it.
All right, guys. That's it. What we got for today on a cloudy Monday in October. But thanks for listening, and just keep listening.
Just completely forgot our outro.
I looked at something shiny and caught my attention. You thought we were done.
No, I had the headphones off and everything, and I came right back. I was like, what? So the outro is?
Yeah. All right, just remember, try to keep it fun, factual, and functional because it's the only F's that we give. All right, guys, don't be assholes. Wow, I'm struggling.
Good
today.
Lord.
Be kind to one another. Bye. Whew. Shit.